When I first started my fitness journey several years ago, I was skinny fat. And I was this way for the longest time. Couldn't really figure out how to shake it off and get out of it. If you find yourself skinny fat, the good news is that not only is it a fixable solution, but it's also one that you can fix fast if you do the right things. First of all, skinny fat is not a body type, but is a condition where you look skinny with your clothes on, and when your clothes come off, you have that layer of fat around your body's midsection. So when we're talking about skinny fat, we're looking at a situation where you sort of look like this. You're both skinny and you're fat. Let me explain this a bit differently. You lack muscle and you still maintain some fat around your midsection. For men, particularly around their waistline, and for women, around their hips and thighs. You've got skinny arms, maybe skinny legs, no chest, and probably no abs, but you still have midsection fat. Basically, what it means is you have low muscle mass and a high body fat percentage. In this video, I'm going to share with you what actually helped me come out of being skinny fat. I'll provide you with a clear picture of how you should work out and what you should be eating to overcome the skinny fat problem. The reasons for being skinny fat could be bad food choices, overeating, or excessive cardio, especially steady state cardio. I'm not going to do a deep dive into why you're skinny fat, rather what the solution is to come out of it. Hi, I'm Rishi, and thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm a practicing nutritionist with a background in human physiology and nutritional sciences. Here, I take a holistic and scientific approach to all aspects of health and wellness. I use food and lifestyle changes to optimize one's nutrition, to promote longevity and healthy aging. So if you want to hack your Healthspan and be the best version of yourself, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. Our goal should always be to improve body composition, and this can only be done by increasing overall muscle mass and decreasing body fat. And let me tell you, the more lean muscle mass you build, the easier it'll be for you to decrease body fat stores. The aim is to look lean and athletic throughout the year. The skinny fat solution boils down to three basic factors: workout, nutrition, and sleep. And I'm going to address all three. We've got two choices to attack this. You can either opt to attack your fat problem and try and get skinnier. However, I would not advise this because when you do, you end up looking something like this. What this is that you're just a very skinny person. The base of what's happening in a skinny fat person is a lack of muscularity. There's no muscular development. So the second choice of the solution, and what I recommend, is that you're going to want to start ensuring that you build some muscle to start fixing the problem. First, let's talk about nutrition. And this is the most important factor. Your first step should be to try and find out your maintenance calories. These are the amount of calories you would consume on a daily basis that would lead to no net gain or loss of weight, based on your average total daily energy expenditure. The thing to understand about your diet and being skinny fat is that you are not hypocaloric, meaning you are not in a caloric deficit, meaning you are not consuming less calories than your maintenance calories. Why do I say this? Because if you were consuming lesser calories than your maintenance, then you would lose the body fat that still remains around your midsection, having burnt that fat as fuel. What it means for someone who's skinny fat is that they're still accumulating too many calories from all the foods that they're eating. So let's start from that point and figure out a game plan. From a nutrition standpoint, the fact that I know you're not hypocaloric means you're at least at maintenance, if not in a caloric surplus. Well, what this means is that you're in a good enough state to start building muscle. But ensure you're only eating in a minor surplus, like 200 to 300 calories above maintenance levels. Meaning, if your maintenance calories are 2000, then you should not be consuming more than 2200 to 2300 calories per day. Conversely, if you want to eat in a caloric deficit and be hypocaloric and stay under maintenance levels, that's also fine. Because we know that you can build muscle at the same time as you're losing fat in a caloric deficit, as long as your protein content is high enough, especially when you have extra body fat on you. If you're in that range and you're slightly hypocaloric, let's say 200-300 calories below maintenance levels, you're still going to be able to build muscle mass, although at a much slower rate. Meaning, if your maintenance is 2000 calories and you want to be in a deficit, then consume around 1700 to 1800 calories per day, but not lower. So, in both scenarios, whether you're in a slight caloric surplus, being hypercaloric, or in a slight caloric deficit, being hypocaloric, you can gain muscle both ways. It'll just be a bit slower being in a deficit versus surplus, but the fat loss will be a bit faster being in a deficit versus surplus. The key element in both scenarios, however, is the amount of protein you're consuming. Protein is the most important macronutrient when you're looking to gain muscle, and this needs to be at least at 0.8 grams per pound or 1.76 grams per kilogram of body weight. Meaning, if you're a 70 kilogram or 154 pound individual, you need to be consuming at least 123 grams of protein per day to allow for muscle protein synthesis to happen easily. Generally speaking, keep your meals high in protein and well balanced with complex carbohydrates and healthy fats. Try and avoid processed carbs and refined sugars as much as you can. Eating a clean and balanced diet will help you achieve these results the fastest. What I recommend is simply counting your protein content in grams for a day or two. If you're feeling adventurous, try doing it for a week. We generally eat around the same things almost every single day, so a few days should be plenty to give you an average estimate of how much protein you're consuming daily. I'm not asking you to start tracking your macros religiously long term. Rather, just for your own awareness, it might help you to see how much protein you're currently taking in. Because if you're not at that 0.8 grams per pound or 1.76 gram per kilogram of body weight right now, you might be surprised at how far below that level you actually are. My recommendation to ensure that you're getting the building blocks required to build muscle is just to take out some of the carbs and swap them in for protein. This is easy as carbs and proteins have identical caloric values, meaning 1 gram of protein is the same as 1 gram of carbs in terms of calories, which is 4 calories. So you can make an easy swap between carbs or proteins. This allows you to stick to the exact number of calories you're currently consuming without changing your calorie consumption. Now, nutritionally, this is good enough to get you out of that skinny fat conundrum. Now, the second thing is your training regime, which is different from simply exercising. Your focus should be on weight training and not cardio. Please remember that any form of resistance training is very important to increase the muscle mass. But if you're not on some sort of committed plan that you're consistent with, you're not going to build any muscle. If you exercise intermittently and think that's a committed plan, it's not. And it's the reason why you haven't built any muscle. If you're currently skinny fat, then smash that like button to start dropping some fat. So, you need to get on a training plan. And these are the things that have to be part of that plan. Number 1, you have to have focus on building your base strength around a strong foundation in the bigger compound lifts, the squat, bench, and deadlift. You have to be progressively increasing the weight that you've been using over a period of time. Now that means trying to lift heavy weights. When I say heavy, I mean heavy relative to your strength. Also, week by week, try and increase the weight. And that's what I mean by progression. You need to build a foundation and then work forwards from there. Stick to full body workouts, which will be enough if done in a progressive manner to help you build the muscle and drop the fat. Now, coming to cardio. As I said, you should not do too much cardio. The best time to do it is right after your lifting session, and the best way to do effective cardio is to do sprints or high intensity cardio. These can be runs, rowing, or cycling. Trust me, it'll help tons, and the way you spend that 1 hour working out will really dictate how fast you see results. Let's do a quick reality check here. The reality is you might have the fear of resistance training, which I definitely had. And if you do, don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people, when they first start out training with no muscle on their body, without gym experience, feel this way. But know that as a newbie, you're going to gain muscle sometimes just by looking at the weights. But you have to look at those weights consistently in order for this to happen. You need to understand that some of those exercises are going to feel a little bit daunting and you may feel like avoiding them altogether. But you need to find the path to start doing them consistently and get comfy with them. If that means working out with a personal trainer or an experienced friend to get you started, then so be it. As you start to get more comfortable and consistent with your training, there's a couple of things that might actually happen. Number 1, you might actually have some fun. Because training might be a bit scary to you at the start of your journey, but then you reach a point where you look forward to them. Because you start to see changes in the mirror and that becomes your motivation. Secondly, as you learn and are not only having fun from training, but you're also building a better mind-muscle connection from training regularly, your body automatically craves more of it. If you start doing these things, you will start seeing results. The only thing that you can mess up is the consistency with what you're doing and the training frequency. Remember, the muscle growth is going to be the solution to your skinny fat problems. And making the few but important changes to your nutrition is going to make all the difference in helping you achieve your goal. And know this, if you have no appreciable muscle mass in your body right now because you've never followed a training plan before, then guess what? Those newbie gains will come in handy here. They allow you to start adding muscle mass at a much faster rate than any other point in your life before. Coming to the final factor, which is sleep. All you need to do is maintain consistent sleep timings and sleep between 7 to 8 hours every night. If you follow these recommendations, I assure you, you will start seeing results quickly. If you do this right, you're going to start to like what you see at a much faster pace than you may have expected. Thanks for watching this video. If you found value in the information I've shared, then please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Drop me a comment if you have any feedback for me. I'd really appreciate that.